Where's
I just
recording?
remembered to record.
Oh gosh. Okay. It's been one of those days.
Lo siento.
Okay. So go ahead and put the chat in there. Yep, Nicole, watch the recording. So good thing you're recording it again. Okay. And we're going to have fun. Really, we love doing Costa Rica immersion. It is our passion. And it is a lot of fun. We're in the detail work right now. And you guys are in the detail work, just trying to, get ready to go and stuff. So sometimes it may not seem so fun getting prepared.
Details are my favorite.
But it is, we want you to have fun on immersion. So hopefully you'll get that feeling from us during these meetings. So last meeting, we went over introductions. We saw who was traveling with who, a list that had some errors in it. Okay. But we got that all straightened out now. Okay. We talked about the word immersion, because if you look for Spanish immersion programs online, it is diverse in explanation and in programming and everything. So we talked about what our Spanish immersion program means, obstacles to your language growth, and our commitment as a group. If you remember what our commitment, or some of those group commitments to continue to help each other progress poco a poco, little by little, and spur one another on, put it in the chat box if you remember what our commitment was. We didn't. That was like 3 weeks ago, so that's okay. We'll remind you. Okay. Let's see. They're distracted by your optional excursion.
Lo siento, I had to answer a question.
Yes, Cameron, thank you. So commit to starting in Spanish. We have so many different levels of Spanish speakers on this immersion program, from beginner to advanced to near native. And but we want you to commit to at least starting in Spanish. So even if you're a beginner, you can say yo, right? Okay, so commit to speaking in Spanish or starting in Spanish. Excelente. If you have to break into Spanglish, está bien. And use what you know, Kathy. Excellent. Yeah. And we're going to teach you some strategies. If you've been in Intercambio and in our medical Spanish classes, we talk about circunloquio, circumlocution, which is using the words that you know. Kathy, what you just said, using the words that you know to talk about something that you don't know. So if you're trying to explain something, you may not have the vocab for the thing that you're trying to explain, but using other words that you know or characteristics. So yeah,
like that fruit that's yellow. It's yellow and soft, and it's.
I do not like it unless it is in bread, in pancakes. But plain, I do not like it.
What are we talking about?
Banana.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. That's a great example. Pero en español. Excellent. Okay. General schedule. We talked. Oh. Do I hear a question? Did you hear a question?
I didn't.
Okay. Okay. Our general schedule, we talked about that last time. Optional excursions, we're going to talk about that again this week. Lista de delincuentes, we gave you fair warning that the delinquent list was coming this week, and we have it, okay, for you.
So shameful.
And then next step. So we're going to jump right in. That's what we did last week. This week, those participants that are new or were not part of the first meeting, we want you to unmute yourself and tell us who you are, where you live, and what program you're on, and your big why for participating in this program. So do we have any voluntarios? Okay, Cameron, go for it.
Okay. Yo soy Cameron Owens de Santa Rosa, California. Yo soy una enfermera practicante, and nuevo posición. My new site will be mostly Spanish speakers, so I need to improve.
Excellent. Thank you. Awesome. And that's a great example of using what you know and starting in Spanish. Muy bien, Cameron. Excelente. Yay. Now we're all Zoom experts, find your reactions and give Cameron una reacción.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. Cheryl found it. Marisa found it. Excellent. Kathy found it. Oh, muchos. Okay, they're rolling in. Okay, ¿quién más? Who else is new? Terry.
Yo soy Terry. Son de Ohio. Son enfermera práctica de niños.
Excelente, Terry. Excellent.
And I am getting a larger Spanish-speaking population in my practice. I also do frequent medical mission trips to Guatemala and always have to have a translator. So I would like to be more fluent so that I can break down that barrier, that communication barrier between myself and my patients.
That
That's
is a
great.
powerful
Wonderful goal.
why and
Yep.
purpose. Excelente. And I still will hear about Guatemala towards the end of this meeting.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. Excellent. Who else? Who else do we have here that wasn't here the first meeting? I don't see any hands raised. Let me flip my screen.
Mark Morris. Mark Morris.
Mark
is saying it's my
Morris.
turn. Okay.
Te toca a ti, your turn.
Okay, let's see. Soy Marcos y vivo en Tampa. Estoy médico y trabajo en una clínica gratuita en Tampa, donde la gente habla español. Acabo de terminar con la clase de Mastery Medical Spanish, pero por este viaje voy a viajar con mi nieta Lucia con los adultos.
Excelente.
Excelente, excelente. Gracias, Marcos.
Gracias, Marcos. ¿Lucía está aquí esta noche?
No.
No, está
no,
bien.
sí, sí. No sé dónde está. En este momento.
Como abuelo, Lucía, ¿dónde estás? Qué bueno. Ok, ¿alguien más? Go.
Hola,
Oh, there we go, Kim and Rose. Okay.
me llamo Kim y mi hija Rose. We're from Silverdale, Washington, and I work in the school system, public school system, and there's a lot of Spanish-speaking families in our school that I would love to be able to connect with better. It would be really helpful to have some Spanish skill. So, and it's just been a lifelong dream of mine to be able to speak in Spanish fluently, just for people we've met and to make new friends. And we love learning about new cultures. And so that's my why.
Perfect.
Awesome. Welcome to you both.
Rose.
Yo estudiaba en escuela y quiero practicar solidify what I know.
Muy bien, gracias Rosy, Kim, y bienvenidas. Qué bueno. Okay, ¿alguien más? Do we have any others to introduce themselves that weren't here the first meeting?
Yes, that's me. Hola, mi nombre es Nicole. Yo soy de Philadelphia. And similar to the person who just said, I have a lot of Spanish-speaking students at a school I teach at. So just knowing more conversational Spanish would be great. I'm kind of limited to classroom objects right now and kind of like stop, look commands. So love to learn more.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Excellent, Nicole.
Excelente.
You're not alone in that limitation as far as the classroom. So there's some other educators that can relate with you. Bienvenida, Nicole. All right. ¿Alguien más? Going. Uno, dos. Looking at my screen here, Chase.
Yeah,
Oh, I heard somebody.
Yep.
it's me, Zemfira.
Zemfira.
Oh,
I
Sempira,
don't
¿cómo
see where you
estás?
are.
She's
Wait.
right here.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Zemfira.
I couldn't find the hand to raise up on computer.
That's okay. I couldn't find you at first.
So, disculpe, estoy un poco tarde. porque trabajo. Me llamo Zemfira, vivo en estado de Washington y trabajo con pacientes que hispanohablantes. Mayoría de mis pacientes son hispanohablantes. Nació en Asia Central. Mi idioma nativo es ruso. Para mí, español es mi tercer idioma. Y porque trabajo mucho, no tengo mucho tiempo para esto, necesito practicar más. Y fui en Perú por un mes por estudiar español de medicina con pacientes en 2017. Este es mi segundo viaje en Costa Rica y soy una doctora de familiar, family practice doctor. ¿Y qué es? Es todo.
Muy
Gracias,
bien,
Zemfira.
gracias, Zemfira.
Excelente, excelente.
Muy bien, gracias. Okay, vamos a continuar. So we're going to start off with a little rompehielo and icebreaker, and then we have noticias about our trabajo voluntario, and then familias hospederas. We're going to talk about host families a little bit, our CGI language approach, which we started to talk about, questions regarding travel logistics, and then the final list of excursions and lista de delincuentes.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to do this next one in breakout rooms. Okay. So I just dropped the chat.
Perdón.
Sí.
I just arrived at home, and so I have to log off and then go back in. So I'm going to log off and log back on, just to let you know.
We'll let you in, Nancy. No hay problema.
Thank you.
Okay.
Gracias.
Hasta pronto. So we're going to break
Muy
it
bien.
into 3 breakout rooms. You want to get those organized?
They're ready to go.
Okay, ready to go. Perfect. And in the pre-departure lessons, if you've done some of them at the beginning, we use this term a lot called sacar el jugo. Okay. And based off of this picture right here, if you know what sacar el jugo means, put it in the chat box.
Squeeze the juice.
Good.
Literally squeeze
We
the
have
juice.
a literal translation. Okay. Squeeze the juice, squeeze the juice, squeeze. Okay. And then we have a non-literal translation, which is the meaning of give it your all, getting the most of your experience, getting the most of your experience, squeeze the juice. Okay, get all the good stuff, right? The pulp and everything. If you like the pulp, carpe diem, extract everything from the experience. And that's what we want you to do. And that means that there's going to be hard days and really fun days, but it's all part of the learning process. So we're going to put you, there's going to be 3 breakout rooms. You're going to have to be on your computer for this one.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
transition.
Okay. And in our small groups, we're going to talk about these 3. This is just going to be a 5-minute, 6 minutes breakout session. Okay. ¿Qué significa sacar el jugo? Which you just talked about. What English expressions are similar to it? Okay. And how, this is the one that's most important. How are you going to sacar el jugo, make the most out of this experience? Okay. When you might be out of your comfort zone or not have your own bathroom or things like that. And then this is a little fun. If you have time, create your own hashtag as a group that represents this sentiment. So I'm going to drop this Google document link in the chat again, and you guys can actually edit this document. So for hashtags, you can go ahead and jump in there and start doing your hashtags, but we're going to do it in small groups.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so Leslie, you'll be running a group. Carly, you'll be with a group, and then I'll be with another group. Okay. My group, I'll be there in just a minute after we get everybody set. Okay. All right, let's do it.
Okay.
You ready?
I have a question.
Yes,
Yes.
Pascal.
Yeah, sorry, I'm really not familiar with Wake Up Room. Plus, I'm on my phone and it's totally different. So if you could just explain to me very quickly how this works.
You'll have a red indication on the bottom of your phone, which you'll be able to join.
Well, let's talk about this actually. If it's within the app, no problem. If anyone's on the browser version of Zoom, you may have a challenge getting into a breakout room. So, which means that some of us may need to stay. I may need to stay in the main room. We'll just see. We'll see how many people get in. If you're in a group without either Leslie, Carly, or I, just go for it. Someone step up and talk through these questions together, because my hunch is not everyone's on the downloaded version of Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right, let's do it.
We had a very interesting conversation in our group, and actually talk about being mindful and be present, be fully present, but also have opportunity to decompress and to share and not to get like too overstressed. So that's what conversation we had in our group.
Very good. Rory and I and Carly will be there to remind you on a daily basis to not get overly stressed.
Yeah, Hakuna Matata.
Pura vida.
Pura vida.
That's right. Thank you, Cynthia, for sharing. Okay, Carly, you were in the main session maybe. Did you guys have another, and there were a couple others. Was there a group conversation that session?
I actually got kicked out, so I left my group all alone, and I'm so sorry. I just now got back in. I didn't have a conversation.
No hay problema. No hay problema. Okay, those that were in the main session, did you guys have a conversation about this? No.
There wasn't anybody in there except Carly, and I couldn't talk to her. And so.
Okay, so our group engage. So this is something that Marco said, but engage with the host family as much as he can in even going, asking like, ¿Cómo se llama esto? ¿Cómo se llama? Like learning from the host family, ask him about vocab and stuff. Or maybe that was Stuart, I might be forgetting. Not waste time if you have the opportunity, right? To really take a hold of this opportunity. Marco did say he wants to go to the gym in Costa Rica, el gimnasio.
Got to get swole.
Remind myself why I chose to come. Okay. Wake up each morning, remind myself, don't be embarrassed by making mistakes. I said that you'd be really good at reminding them because you often laugh at, at my mistakes and stuff. You're good.
We just all, that's just the way it is. Everybody's making mistakes.
Yeah. Try not to get frustrated and make the most of every opportunity. All right, so some creative hashtag creators here.
Yeah.
Send it. That's a good one. Send it. I'm ready. Let's do this. Okay. Carpe diem. YOLO Pura Vida 21. That is a good one. That might be a theme for our group, right? Yep. Who did that one? Was that Lisa? Was that Terry? Terry's dancing. That was her group. Who did that one? Unmute yourself.
It was in our group, but please, lady who come up with this YOLO, it was combined, but somebody offered YOLO, somebody mentioned Pura Vida, and then we add 21.
Combined group effort. Love it.
Somebody came with this YOLO.
Todos grupas.
Very good. No,
He came up with Pura Vida, which
Excellent.
Excelente.
No ser timide, timido, timida, timide.
Uh-huh.
And then start in Espanol.
Me
Very good.
gusta, me
Okay, you
gusta.
guys get the idea. Okay, be mindful of this conversation in a month from now, or in 5 weeks or 3 weeks, whenever you guys get down there. Be mindful of this conversation. All right. We're going to transition talking about volunteer work. We have some updates for you,
Yeah.
and it starts with looking at the realities.
Yeah, so so our volunteer work is all sort of under the context of what's going on with COVID. It's a unique year where all of us are just thankful to be able to travel. But when you look at some just daily stats and the trends that are going on, Costa Rica is just now coming down from its third peak, its third major peak with COVID. And so, you know, there's a lot of hesitancy at the moment for outside groups to receive us. And we can see, just looking at the data, you know, when you compare Costa Rica to, of course, the scales are thousands of % off, but the trends, if you just look at the trends, you get a sense for what people are feeling and thinking. Because you can remember a couple months ago, 6 months ago, and how crazy it was in, you know, November through January. We were going through our major peak, right? And so that's the situation we're in right now with Costa Rica. We're coming down. Those are daily cases. Deaths are showing the same sort of trends. And so all that to say is that 100% of our volunteer work is currently pendiente. It's all pending. And when you look at these charts, you understand why. And so you know, I'm kind of a guy that likes to have plans like this and to know what's going on and to know what's happening and to have something firm. But we all kind of need to have our plans like this this year, open-handed, because things will come and go, and our opportunities will shift, possibly as late as a week or 10 days before, just because we want to be able to jump on any opportunity that presents itself as it does. That said, what we want to do is share with you what some of that pendiente stuff is.
And to come prepared in case we do have more opportunities than we think right now. So we have two, actually one really exciting thing that is going to happen for sure that we want to share with you. And then some other stuff pendiente.
Yeah.
And Rory and I will create a video that goes more into detail once we have more detail, and send you an email right away with updated volunteer stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But before we get into this, I just want to answer some of these questions in the chat. Yes, gyms are open. And there are a few in Santo Domingo. And yes, we would love in-house Zumba classes with Cameron. So we will have you as our in-house Zumba instructor. We would love that. Or I won't speak for everyone else, but if you're into Zumba, if you want to give it a shot, put Zumba in the chat and we'll just take a little poll right now.
YOLO Zumba 21.
Zamfira says Zumba. Sounds great. Yeah, Zumba. Yes, you'll have opportunities to walk, to run. Zumba YOLO. I like it. Yes, Zumba. Okay, Cameron, you have a class officially. Okay. Once, twice, 3 times a week, you got it. Okay.
Awesome. So week 1, you've got a pendiente camp with
so educators during the week 1, if you're on program in week 1, that is a time where Costa Ricans have a 2-week break from school. And historically, we work with some kids from marginalized communities that don't have a lot of academic support at home, nor a lot of childcare opportunity when both their parents are out of the house working, and a 10-year-old may be taking care of a 5 and a 3-year-old at home. And so we offer what's called a Lapa Green. Lapa Verde is our language school. Lapa Green, it's kind of a play on words. Campamento, it's a day camp. It's 3 mornings. We are preparing as if that's going to happen. So educators, you'll get more information about that, but I want you to be thinking about some activity that you would like to teach elementary age kids in a span of 20 minutes to 30 minutes, and kids will be rotating to an activity station to your activity station. So I'm going to send out more information, but that will happen in some form. It may be over a couple different locations, or we may be alternating the kids that come, but it looks like that will be happening. We just not quite sure exactly how or in which location. So you'll get more information about that.
So SEDCUS is another group that we spend a lot of time with over many years. SEDCUS, what it is it is a there's two sort of branches. It's primarily funded through a private clinic where doctors and specialists will come after their government jobs and work part-time and see people on a one-to-one, just individual private practice, in addition to what they do throughout the day with their government jobs. And then what they also have is they have a largely NGO type mission, which is called Casa Salud. And its focus is on giving health opportunities to all different age ranges and segments of a local shanty town, maybe 20 minutes away from where we are based in Santo Domingo. So it's a wonderful organization that's figured out how to do, some of its own support, and then also rely on volunteer work and that sort of thing. So what we do with SEDCUS is we'll have all sorts of activities, from tutoring with children, workshops, to healthcare education, health education with different populations, whether it be elderly folks or young mothers or health leaders within the community. And all of that sort of workshop-y educational stuff is 100% pendiente, but what's not pendiente, and I actually shouldn't have put it pendiente here, what's not pendiente is we've asked them, what do you guys really need? We really love this organization and the community that it works in. And what do you guys need right now to support the folks in the community and to continue having contact with people throughout this COVID stuff? And they said, well, we could use school supplies. We're really trying to build up our library of used laptop computers so that kids can have a place. We've already upgraded our Wi-Fi so that we have high-speed internet here for kids that don't have access to internet, and so that people can do not only children, but job training online and everything. And then there's just a lot of real raw need as well. And so there's something called La Canasta Básica. La Canasta Básica is used in a lot of contexts. It's essentially the staples. And so oftentimes when maybe an employer would give a Christmas gift, it'd be a Canasta Básica to a family. It's staple-ish stuff like rice, beans, oil, some
laundry detergent,
laundry stuff.
soap.
Yeah. So all sorts of things. So they've said, we could really use help with three things: school supplies, some donated computers, if anybody has any, and some food, canasta básica. And so that's what we're going to do week 2. We're going to round up as much as we can, and deliver it.
I'm going to add a couple things. So SEDCUS has they serve their community in 2 main ways: the medical clinic, which is a private medical clinic, which their care and attention to care and rapidez, I'm just thinking in Spanish right now, but they offer their speed in seeing patients is much quicker than the public hospital system. And then they are very involved in supporting the kids in this community through a kids club, tutoring, academic tutoring, encouraging kids to go to school, supporting parents, teaching parents how to read so they can read with their kids. So it's both medical and educational. And they serve Guarani, as Rory said. There are 7 major shanty towns. Thousands, tens of thousands of people live in these shanty towns in Costa Rica. Guarani is one of the largest, and this is a community that they serve. We've in the past had the opportunity to walk through the community to see their reality. We will not be able to do that this year, but the canasta básica, the computers and the school supplies will go to kids and families in this community. We are going to share later on this week or next week a video, not taken by us, but just of another group that works with SEDCUS. So you can see as they're touring around the community, walking through the community of Guarani, you can see the reality of how these people live. And Mark and Carly, I think that you and Rachel, did you guys walk through Guarani with us? Unmute yourself if you did, and maybe something that stood out about the community, what you saw.
I just remember hearing the story of how there was a thunderstorm and these kids got swept away in the little creek that's right there, and they eventually found them, but it was too late. I mean, that's the part that stuck out to me, is this creek is right there and it is so unsafe. I mean, because it just comes down like a torrent.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. Carly or Mark?
I just remember we walked through a couple people's houses and just seeing, it was a pretty large family, like several kids in a very, very small space. We all walked in and it was super hot in there. And just looking at, how they prepare food and all that kind of stuff, very different than like the host families that we're going to be living with, obviously in Costa Rica, and obviously very different than what a lot of us are used to.
Yeah. These homes are usually corrugated tin, one light bulb to light up the whole house, dirt floors inside. And those are the families that need these daily things. Mark.
Yeah, well, I worked in Haiti, so
yep.
It's not, didn't seem unfamiliar at all to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the amazing thing is the resilience and how people make so much out of so little. Amazing experience.
Yeah. And the joy too,
yeah.
that in these conditions, the joy that people have is impactful. Yeah.
So it's a community we have a lot of years invested in, and we're excited to do something to help with some tangible needs this year. And so we don't need any, commitments or anything right now, but think about if you've got a retired computer that no one's using at the house, that they'll take care of refurbishing it and everything. You don't have to worry about that. They just need the device. Or if, for the food stuff, we'll do all of that shopping down there. We've got some days in the itinerary dedicated to that. School supplies, be thinking of things if you've got some things you want to round up, we can also do some of that shopping down there too. But that's what's on the plan. They are, so Zemfira, we did ask them about tablets. We asked about
Apple products.
We asked about Apple products as well. And the kinds of basic computer training that they're trying to do with these devices is like office suite type stuff. Teaching people how to use Excel, because that's a hard skill that could make or break someone's employment prospects. And so they're less interested in the Mac stuff because it's not very common. But if anybody's got a retired PC, that's most
we asked
useful.
About Chromebooks too, Lisa, because we have a few sitting around from our kids, and they said also because it doesn't have those programs on it that it won't work, unfortunately. So
anyway, then the following week what's pendiente is the possibility to actually do some education with some small groups there and some workshops and some individual tutoring with some kids in the week of July 12 to 16. That's going through a process right now of approval with the board of directors and everything. We don't know the answer to that yet. We may not know for another few weeks. But that's what that is. The following week, El Alfarero is a men's rehab facility that is like a 20-minute bus ride away from Santo Domingo. And it's drugs and alcohol rehab, and it's a residential facility. And this is a group that the medical program has historically worked with, at least a decade, going a couple of times a year, working with them. They're also trying to figure out, whether they're going to allow people to come into the residence currently. So, and that's more for the medical group, more related to the medical
And
group.
Lisa will be there, your educator, Lisa.
Awesome. So Lisa, if we have the opportunity, then we'll get you brushed up on some STIs. So we usually do the sexually transmitted infections there. So anyway, and then the following 2 weeks, ATOPS and farmacias, that's still pendiente. ATOPS are part of the healthcare group that goes and does home visits and things like that. So all that is pendiente, and we just appreciate your patience as we work hard to open doors that that COVID has closed on us.
Yep. And we will update you in the pre-departure course when we have more information.
Yep,
So,
absolutely.
all right. So we're going to do another, I want to just be cognizant of the time. We have about 10 minutes. We may run a couple minutes late. So if you have to leave, that's okay. But we're going to do another quick breakout room.
I wonder if we should do this one as a large group.
Okay. We'll do a quick large group breakout session, not breakout, but host family expectations. So put in the chat a number 1 if you have ever lived with a host family before. Number 1 if you've lived with a host family.
Number 2 if you haven't. Number 2 if you haven't.
All right. So lots of people have. Okay. And lots of people have not. Okay. Good. Okay. So if you lived with a host family before, I'm going to skip some of these questions, but what would you like to do maybe differently this time that you didn't do the first time? You can put it in the chat.
Or unmute.
Or unmute. Yeah.
So Tiffany says, interact with them more. It's actually, it's all about capturing those, teachable moments and capturing those opportunities that present themselves, right? Your host family is like the perfect environment for really working on your Spanish.
Carly enjoyed shopping and doing daily activities with them.
Yeah, mine kind of goes with that, like the little things. They always told me, no, you can't help, go sit down, don't help with dinner, but like trying to help with stuff like that, because then I learned a lot.
They'll tell you no, right? But you sneak in and grab a cutting board and start picando. Yeah, start cutting onions and start crying together.
Yep.
Okay, go to church. Yep. Good. Spend time with the host family. Okay. Lots of connecting. Excellent. Okay. So what are some of your expectations? You can go ahead and drop them in the chat box. What do you expect about living with the host family? What are some your predictions or expectations?
No clue.
I love it, Nancy. No clue. Okay. Unsure of what to expect. Okay.
Mutual support, says
Yeah.
Sinfira.
I think it'll be hard to adjust to the time change. Okay. Letting me share their lives. They'll worry, Carly. Yep. Carly has some experience with that. Worrying about them, making sure you're healthy, happy, and safe. That there'll be some challenges, but rewarding.
Oh yeah, the difficulty of being a guest. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so especially when you're used to living on your own. Yeah.
So just some questions as people, if you guys have been completing the pre-departure course, some questions that have come to us in the form is, will I have my own bedroom? Yes, you will have your own bedroom unless you're Rose and Kim, mom and daughter duo. Will you have your own bathroom? Most likely not. You won't have your own bathroom. Okay. Will you have hot water? Maybe not. It depends on the day. Most likely
warm.
it won't be hot, but it'll be warm. Okay. Can you flush toilet paper down the toilet? Nope, you cannot flush toilet paper down the toilet. So these are some things that you can expect that have been coming out. Will you be able to help around the house and get involved? Yes. But if you ask and they say no, don't take no for an answer, kind of jump in and start helping, grab a broom and sweep or whatever, hang the laundry. So those are some realities of, can we wash clothes? Okay. So your host family mother will wash your clothes, but not all host families have dryers because dryers require a lot of electricity. Electricity costs lots of money. So if you have special ropa intima, okay, underwear bras that you don't want hung on the clothesline for all the neighbors to see, I would just maybe leave those at home and bring your travel stuff with you.
I mean, you should
okay?
wear that stuff.
Or you can wash your own clothes in the sink, or not the sink, but they have pilas, which is, how would you explain a pila?
A pila is an outdoor like laundry sink.
Yeah. Washboard. I can't remember what it is in English. Okay, so those are some good.
Lisa asked, will she be older or younger than her host parents? It's kind of a mixed bag, Lisa. We've got young families, we've got older families. And so you might be more like host brother and sister. You might be like host daughter and son. It's hard to know.
We are in the process right now of matching, looking at all your guys' preferences. That's why we need you to complete your registration form, because in there you list your, dietary restrictions, your preferences. So we really look at those to match you with your host family. So we're in that process right now. Okay, what are you, I'm going to skip this one. What are you most nervous about? Cheryl, guest grandmother. She's going to be the guest grandmother in the house.
Cheryl's nervous about bugs.
Bugs. Okay, you can expect cucaracha. You just expect cockroaches. It's just a part of daily living down there. Not a big deal.
Nicole, you'll have time to run and exercise. There'll be a crew that runs in the mornings. No worries there.
You'll want to go with Carly. Yep.
I'm not an early riser.
No, we'll get some running groups or walking groups in the morning.
Accidentally being rude, privacy time.
Okay, the good thing is, as we speak, either this weekend, actually there's 3 sessions, your host families go through an orientation process to learn how to host you. Even if they've hosted students of ours for 5, 6, 7 years, they still, part of their requirement is they still have to go through this orientation process, which our host family coordinator, Danny, runs. So she's talking to them right now, things about like, remember, North Americans are used to flushing toilet paper down the toilet. You're going to have to remind them not to put toilet paper down the toilet. Okay, so they're going through their own kind of reminder orientation meeting as well, about some things. Okay, yep. No me gustan cucarachas. Okay, making mistakes and accidentally offending someone. So Lisa, that's what made me think about the orientation. So they are used to hosting, and they know that this is a language learning experience for you all. So they're going to be expecting you to make mistakes, and they're very gracious, I will say.
They do it because they love it, right? Yeah.
Wanting quiet time, private time. That is a challenging one, because after a long day, you can be exhausted and you just want to relax or unwind in your way of maybe it's quiet, maybe it's reading or whatever. And that's a little bit harder to grab a hold of that time. Yep. Getting enough sleep. Okay, Kathy, the great news for you, and Roy and I talk about this every summer, is it gets dark in Costa Rica at 6:30, which means that dinner is at like 7, and people go to bed earlier than summers here in the US, where it doesn't get dark till 9:30, depending on which part of the country you live in, 10 o'clock. Okay, we tend to have dinner and evening go later. So, and I think some of you asked a question about night times. I'm afraid I'm going to be too hot or whatever. Well, it actually cools down into the 60s at night. So you'll be nice and comfortable for sleeping at night. And you'll probably want to wear a little bit warmer pajamas than what you're used to.
Yeah.
For summer here in the US. Okay.
So Dewey, yeah, it will rain in the afternoons, which is why we have a lot of our open time. Well, we have our classes scheduled for the afternoons, so we know we're going to be indoors, and then some of our community work and other morning excursions are scheduled for the morning, so that we can take advantage of the nice mornings.
Sharif asked, I just said your name with a Spanish accent there, but what is the coldest that it gets? I would say 60s in the evenings. It drops down into the 60s is the coldest. Yes, Zamfira asked what books would I need for my medical Spanish? I would bring a notebook, like a 3-ring binder. I always have my 3-ring binder and a pen to, vocab, take notes, things like that. You can also purchase that in Costa Rica as well.
Yeah.
The warmest it gets, I would probably say at our home base, not at the beach, not the volcano, but our home base is probably in the 80s.
80s.
There's always a constant breeze. We are in the Cordillera Central, so the central mountain range. The elevation's right around 4,500 feet. So it's a little bit higher than what you expect. And it's the terrain of where the coffee plantations are growing. So it's a little bit cooler and the weather changes often.
It's humid though. So if you're from an arid place, the heat and the cold with humidity just makes all of that a little bit more pronounced. Okay. All right.
Takes about 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on which mode of transportation you choose to get to San Jose, Lisa. Yep. Okay, so we're going to continue moving because we're already past the hour.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, so language school expectations, we've talked about this. So I'm going to cruise through. We want you to make mistakes. Your teachers are not grading you on accuracy or perfection. They want you to make mistakes. They're going to say, okay, you may know that in your head, but can you get it out of your mouth? So they want you to actually speak. So if you're reviewing preterite tense verbs for the 50th time in your life and you're thinking, why are we still doing this? Well, can you communicate?
Yeah.
Produce preterite tense verbs. Okay. We talked about all this kind of stuff. Daily Spanish classes will happen 4 hours a day with a cafecito, about a 25-minute break in between for coffee and a little snack. And we need you to complete your placement exam on our website. Before you get down there, a lot of you have, so that we can place you in the right level. And I'm going to skip these 2 questions because we need to cruise.
Yep.
Okay. I think today probably got an email from iNext Insurance. Okay. Don't put it in spam or trash. That is your travel insurance policy with us. We're going to give you more instructions about iNext because you're actually going to have to upload the summary of your coverage to the Health Pass, which the Health Pass is the form that Costa Rica government is requiring you to complete 24 to 72 hours before you depart the United States. So you're going to have to upload that, and that proves to the Costa Rican government that you have the required mandatory insurance coverage for COVID stuff, if anything were to happen. So hold on to that email. And if you don't see it, check your spam or junk folder. You don't need to there's some optional things it might say like upgrade or whatever. You don't have to do anything. Your policy is purchased, but if you do want to upgrade, that's up to your discretion.
Yeah, the email that you got says something like complete your travel insurance policy or something like that. And the little upgrades are like print out or, purchase a card. We'll mail you a card, that kind of thing. It's kind of annoying. Like Leslie said, your travel insurance is 100% done. If you got that email, you don't have to do anything else with your travel insurance. It's all set to go, but make sure you save that copy of your proof of insurance. And like Leslie was saying, you'll need to upload it.
Kathy, I see your message. I'll look into that and get back to you. I need to write it down. Okay. We're going to keep going.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
Okay. This is your last chance. Friday is your last chance to sign up for optional excursions because we need to confirm our reservations and get our reservations set.
Mostly the hotel stuff, mostly the overnight stuff. So Manuel Antonio at the beach, La Fortuna, the volcano, and Tortuguero. There was a chat earlier in our meeting tonight about Tortuguero. That's the one that's kind of full. I need to check on if there's more space there. If you're not signed up for it, but you really want to go, that's the July 17th weekend. If you're in country, then you got to let me know so that I can check on availability and probably add a room. But take this week. And if there's something that you haven't seen or haven't finalized yet, get that finalized because we need to finalize all of the hotel reservations next week.
Yeah. So because there are capacity restrictions in
Mhm.
Costa Rica with COVID, so that's
Yep.
why we need to get on this. So Cafe Brit, we have these people signed up. That'll happen on Sunday. It's a fun 3-hour ordeal.
Yep.
There's going to be 2 chocolate tasting things. The first one is July 2nd. Have you determined the second one?
Possibly 3. I'm kind of looking at Fridays as the program goes along.
You will not want to miss this.
Yeah, it's really pretty
They
cool.
need to know the other dates so they can sign up. But this is more flexible, the CBU.
It's super flexible. Yeah, the stuff that's not flexible is the weekends. that are
Okay.
Overnight.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Manuel, so basically you have a little bit more time for Cafe Brit and Cebu Chocolate because that's more flexible. Manuel Antonio, these are the people that we have on our list. This is on the Pacific Coast. It's first national park established in Costa Rica. There's a national park tour, lots of opportunities to see wildlife. It's right on the beach, a beautiful beach, hanging out. You can surf, you can boogie board. Just give them a little description. This is Volcan Arenal is the iconic volcano that you see when Costa Rica advertises.
It's the postcard volcano.
Yeah, it's beautiful. This is kind of hot springs, zip lining, national parks, beautiful place to rest and relax. Melissa, if you're still on here, I know that you need to register your family. So you can go ahead and take care of that if they're still thinking of going, your husband and daughter. And then I just want to make this distinction. So July 11th, Isla Tortuga is just a day trip. It's different from Tortuguero. They're on opposite coasts, and one's just a day and one is the weekend. Okay, so Isla Tortuga, this is the day that the high school participants and Carly and Gonzalo are going. And so Kathleen and Tana, you will join them. And then Tortuguero is the access through the riverboat, seeing the giant green sea turtles lay their eggs on the coast. So,
Kathy, I see your chat that you're not in country on July 11th. So we'll figure that out for Isla Tortuga. We'll just go ahead and refund you because it's a 1-day deal. So, all right. Awesome.
okay. So we're going to end right
Oh,
after this.
time for the shame of all, the shamiest of all shamey things. La lista de delincuentes. I'm really sorry if you are on this list. It's just so shameful. Anyway, there's paperwork stuff that we need your help with. And so there is a possibility that you have submitted some of this stuff and we missed it. And so if you submitted it, shame on me. But if you haven't, then please make time for this. So you've got your travel registration, that's online, you complete that. Your travel contract, you print that out from the website through your pre-departure course, sign it and send it back. And then final payments, if you have a balance due, we need to get those taken care of. Your flight itinerary, if we don't have your flight itinerary, we definitely need it. That's how we schedule your host family to pick you up at the airport. So send that off right away. We want a digital copy of your passport so that should anything happen, like it gets lost, then we can be helpful to you with the embassy and getting a new passport issued to you. And we need a copy of your vaccination card. So I'm seeing Terry's message in there, and that she already sent it. So Terry will have to find it. And then the placement test. This is how we arrange your classes and make sure you're in a class of like level folks and not paired incorrectly. So make sure that's also a link within your pre-departure course to take that. We've got the list here. This list may not be perfect. It's likely has mistakes in it. So if you've been shamed tonight and you shouldn't have been shamed, then just let me know and we can search for your things. Okay. All right. I don't think we need to spend any more time. It's just so shameful.
There's a bunch of questions in here that I'll answer at the end.
Okay.
But for those that need to leave, you have a participant itinerary. It is a work in progress. So it's on a Google Doc. You can go ahead and open this link when you have time.
I uploaded it to the sidebar of your pre-departure course as well today. So
But
you
you
should have a
should know
link
that
in your
things will
pre-departure
still
course.
change in
Yeah.
there. Times and some activities will
Yeah.
still change.
Mhm.
So be flexible with that. Your next steps. Okay. Last chance for the weekend optional excursions to sign up is on Friday. Submit all paperwork, flight, COVID, etc. Or let us know if we're wrong, send us an email. Submit final payments and then complete your pre-departure course, except the volunteer lesson and the host family lessons are not updated.
Mhm.
When we have that information, we'll let you know. Submit your placement exam. And then our next meeting is on June 23rd, just a few days before the
Yep.
first group leaves for Costa Rica. So
Super exciting.
those are your next steps. You can kind of use that as a checklist. And we're going to stay on and answer questions. If you have to leave, muchísimas gracias. Thank you for your time. Sorry we went over. There's mucha información to go
Mhm.
through, but we thank you and we'll see you. We'll be in touch and we're going to stay on and answer some
Yeah.
of these questions.
Okay. Lynette asked, when's the last time Volcan Arenal erupted? I think it was around 2010 and we were there
We
that
have
year.
a video.
We
of
have
it.
a nice video of it.
I have to find that.
Yeah, it was around 2010. So it's been dormant for some time, which makes some people, I guess comfortable and makes other people really uncomfortable. Like, oh, it hasn't erupted in 10 years. It's going to go now. Okay. All right. So let's see. What about school? Can we do school and Isla Tortuga? Yes. So it's on a weekend, Semfira. Isla Tortuga is on a weekend. And okay, Lisa says she sent her itinerary. I'll have to find that.
Melissa, I'm looking at your message to me. I need to my inbox. I have your email. I need to answer it. But yes, you can go to Isla Tortuga, that day trip with the high schoolers. Absolutely. And then I need to look at accommodations for you.
So Terry says she submitted her vaccine card. Okay, great. We'll track that down. Samfira, your $18 balance. I sent you an email today. It was a transposition of 79 versus 97, and that's where that $18 difference came from. Check your email. I wrote you today. Let's see. Tana says she sent her COVID. Okay, great. Submitted vaccine. Okay. Let's see.
Zamfira, you're correct. Your host families will pick you up from the airport. You don't need to pay them. That's part of the program.
Nicole, yes, we're asking everyone to have a negative COVID test.
Even if you're vaccinated.
Even if you're vaccinated. And Nicole, yeah, that's one thing we can certainly do is just transfer you to the next year. Or if you have flexibility with your dates, you can come a little bit later or whatever. But yes. All right, let's see. All right, Pascal says everything's in. And let's see. Yes, Kathy, you should get your own transportation to your hotel coming in early. Yep, if you need some help with that, we can help you. Okay.
Beginner,
yes.
you still need to take the placement exam. The good thing is it'll go by really quick.
That's right. It'll go by really quick.
That's Nicole.
Let's see. Let's see.
Pascal, I think you're speaking in French.
Well, vous is French, yeah. The health pass. Oh yeah. How do you get the health pass?
Gotcha.
How do you get the health pass? Okay, the health pass is online, and we're gonna link to it.
Yeah, but we're gonna send an email out.
It needs to be done 72 hours before.
We'll send an
the
email
trip.
out on that Monday before.
I'm gonna put a link in the pre-departure course as well.
Yep.
Let's see. Yes, yeah, Dewey, no problem.
You can still sign
yep.
up for chocolate and coffee because that does not require hotels. So
No
you can
problem,
do that.
no problem. Let's see. Oh yeah, so COVID testing as you return, in order to return to the US. There's a handful of clinics in the area that are doing the rapid tests. And there's also a new testing site at the airport with a couple hours turnaround time on your results. And so if you're feeling lucky, you can do that the day of your flight. If you are a little more of a planner, then we can help you find a clinic where you can walk into and get that test going.
I have a bunch of links, so that's a good question. We'll actually add that to the trip itinerary, those links where people can look for their COVID.
That's a good idea.
If they're out
Yeah.
traveling on your own. If you're with the group, we will help you arrange and find the location. But if you like leave our program and go out on your own traveling, then we can help you too from in country. But I'll put a bunch of links in the
Yep.
participant itinerary.
Yep. Okay, so yes, Trishana, your folks can get the same insurance for the duration of their visit. What I need from you, Trishana, would be
You get a list, Trishana.
Yeah, you
Get a-
ready?
Here's a
So-
list.
So we need their names, their full names, their dates of birth. We need full name, date of birth, a unique email address, and the specific dates that they're in country. So name, date of birth for each of them, a unique email address for each of them, and then the specific dates that they're in country. And we can go ahead and get that and pass. And we added a product online where you can just go ahead and pay for that for them. I think it's $10 a day or something like that. Okay, let's see.
Yes, Lisa, there are specific school supplies that I'm going to send out probably next week in an email. But some things I know right away are pens, pencils, erasers, any rulers that are in metric rulers, crayons, markers, glue sticks, and scissors. That's what I know for sure.
Okay, so Ade, yes, go ahead and just sign up for Tortuguero, and I'll work with our hotel to get some more space going. Okay, so that'll be great. And let's see, Tiffany will check on that. And Lynette, donating clothes to a women's shelter. We don't have any close contacts with any women's shelters.
That's something we can ask Sedkis though.
We can ask Sedkis about it. Yeah, so we'll put that on our list, Lynette, to ask about if there's any opportunity for clothing donations. What do you know about school supplies that
I
they're
just
asking
answered
for?
that to Lisa.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good.
Yes. Oh,
So I had a question about so even though all the cases in the United States are kind of trending down, we're still getting the pre-departure COVID test. It can be
Yeah.
any kind of COVID test.
Yes.
any kind. Yep.
Yeah.
So you don't, so if it's done in a physician's office versus at CVS or Walgreens, you don't care.
No.
Totally fine, Stuart. Yeah, it's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah. And so this is one of those things that because even though we're vaccinated and even though things are, on the decline here in the US, this is one of those real, I guess, nerve settling kind of things that we're doing for the host families because the vaccines are not as widely available. They're still vaccinating people 58 and up. So it's just in a completely different space. And a lot of families are like, oh, they'll be tested. Oh, and they'll have vaccines. Okay, we'll be glad to host. But it helps them, feel better about what they're doing and feel safer. So that's why we're asking everyone to do that.
Kim and Rose, that's actually a great question. Is it better to purchase school supplies in Costa Rica? Yes, because it stimulates their economy. So absolutely.
If you have
Good
stuff,
question.
if you have stuff that you're not using, then fine, let's bring it. But I wouldn't go to Walmart and do a bunch of shopping and take it all down there. We can purchase a lot of that there and do just like Leslie says, be a part of the local economy. Yeah. Yes, Semfita, antigen test is fine.
Lisa, that depends on your activity. So if you have an idea of your activity, there you are. I was looking around the Zoom screen. If you have an idea of your activity, you can let me know and then we can go from there. Do you have an idea?
Más o menos.
Más o menos.
I do, you know, but I'll try to think of some other things.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you what it is? Oh,
Yeah.
well, one thing I did with my students recently was, you know, I have coffee filters, like the round kind, like from Mr. Coffee, you know, the old ones.
Mhm.
And then you use markers like Crayola markers, and then you just have like a wet paintbrush, and you wet the coffee filter, so it kind of makes a tie-dye effect. So it's really easy. It's not very expensive, you know, but just getting the you know, I could bring coffee filters. That wouldn't be a problem.
I think
That
you
kind.
fine.
I don't know if they would have that kind there, but I could
The-
get markers and paintbrushes and.
Yeah, the round like accordion looking
Yeah,
one.
with the really flat bottom, you know, yeah.
Find those.
I
Yeah,
have
you
a
can
bunch in my classroom
Oh,
that I
okay.
could bring.
Yeah,
but I
bring
can
them
think of
down
a few
if
other
you have
things
them.
too.
Bring them down if you have them. That'd be great. Paint is actually hard. Like watercolor paints are actually harder to find down there. So
This
I
is
would
just
think of-
markers. You use the
Oh, markers.
markers.
Yep.
But it gives that kind of effect though when you get
Perfect.
them wet.
That sounds like a
and
fun
it bleeds.
activity.
It bleeds out on the filter. It's kind of
Yeah.
fun.
Cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
That sounds
But
great.
you would just need something like a plate or a plastic tablecloth to do it on, and then it just needs to dry in place.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah. A
okay, so that
plastic
would be okay.
tablecloth. Yep.
Sounds doable.
Yeah.
Mhm. Or like styrofoam's not good for the environment, but something like that underneath.
If you
So.
do a plastic tablecloth, we could use it for other uses.
Okay,
Whatever
so
we
I could
think
just
about.
bring, maybe I should bring, you know,
Yeah,
one or two of those.
Slip it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that
that'd be
sounds good.
great. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
That sounds great. All right. Any other questions? I'm looking at Melissa because your questions on top of my mind. I need to get back to you about traveling.
To follow the previous questions, do we have any idea of how many students there will be?
At the Lapa Green camp.
So typically, when we've done this years in the past, there are about 30 to 40 students. However, we're limited to capacity this year, so it might be smaller. But you can still expect to be teaching a group of probably 2 or 3 students, really small groups, and then they'll rotate around.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we'll
Just to
rotate.
get an idea of how much material we have to bring, if we have to bring. That's all.
Yeah, I would shoot for 30 students. I think is a good number,
Mhm.
and then doing them in small groups. That's a good question. I see some people, adios, adios. See you later if you have to leave. Rachel, have a great trip to Iceland. I want to hear all about it.
Thanks. Oh, you'll see pictures. There will be plenty of pictures. Selfish question for me. Do you happen to know if Roseo's family is doing host family this year?
They are hosting you, amiga. I just confirmed that. So you'll get that information, but
Okay.
yeah, they're going to be
Yeah.
hosting you.
Because she had sent me a message and I couldn't figure out what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'll see you in Costa Rica. And she's like, oh, we look forward to seeing you. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's just like during the day or something, but thank you. That is awesome.
You're welcome. Yep. You'll get the official, but yeah, Danny confirmed that this week.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Yeah.
Lynette has hasta luego.
Adios.
Lynette has a
Have a great
question
trip.
about her new knees. Congratulations on the new knees, Lynette. You may set off a detector and get a little pat down, but you'll be fine with your new knees. Your new knees are accepted at the airport.
Rory has a new-ish hip.
I
You have a
do.
new knee,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, what else? I think that's all the questions.
Okay, so we need to get back to Melissa. I just don't have an answer right now, but you need to remind me.
I don't know what the question was.
So the question is her husband and daughter, right, Melissa? Daughter want to go on the excursion to, oh, now I'm forgetting which one, Manuel Antonio?
Yeah, the volcano one.
Oh, La Fortuna.
Fortuna.
Uh-huh.
And if it's price per person or
It is, yeah. it
okay,
is
price per person. So
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure. So it's
Mhm.
price per person for that.
Yep.
Even though they're gonna, 3 of them share. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
That's our
it's
hotel
per person.
arrangement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect.
So yeah, just change the quantity there and then you'll be all set.
All right. Any other questions from Rose and Kim, Melissa, Mark, Kathy? Kathy unmuted. She has a question.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what were the possibilities of, I'm going to be arriving about noon on Wednesday, and I am comfortable being alone, but if there are things that I could connect up with you guys to be helpful, like on shopping trips or whatnot, I'm more than happy to spend my Thursday, you know, jumping in and doing something that would be helpful.
I don't
before that Tortuga.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which date. Can you remind me the date?
I come in on the 14th of July, but I don't hook up with you until the Friday because of the Tortuga trip. I think
Tortuga.
that
Right.
leaves on Friday, right?
Yep.
No, it leaves on Saturday.
Oh, it leaves on Saturday. Okay.
Together leaves on Saturday. Yep.
All right. So I've got 2 full days that I will do sightseeing, but if you need help from somebody that's not in class, just know that I'm available.
That's good to know.
Do you want to jump into class? Do you want to start early?
Always, yes.
Well, that's an option.
Sukar, whatever. That
Sakara Hugo.
Yes.
Sakara Hugo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean,
But-
one option, you know, was it you that I was talking to, Kathy, that was trying to figure out if you were going to go spend a few days at Herradura, the beach, or in San
Yes,
Jose?
but I chose the Marriott that's closer into town. That's part of, you know, just outside of San Jose, or it's in San Jose. So I
Okay.
am going to be in the city. I'm not going to go out to the beach.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you want to adjust that and just start with your host family earlier, we could look at that. That's one option. And just start program midweek. It's an odd time to start, but it's not an impossible time to start. So we could do that, or you could have your, you know, your citycation.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll think it through and then we can email.
Yeah. Yeah. Think it through and we'll talk about it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're
bet.
welcome. Marcos.
Could you talk me through dates and times on the Manuel Antonio weekend?
Yes.
Because I'm not clear on, you know, when we're going, when we're coming back, and how that's going to affect our travel.
Yeah. So we leave Saturday the 3rd.
Saturday 3rd.
Well,
Okay.
early morning departure.
Okay.
And we'll get out there, spend the weekend, and spend Sunday night there and come back Monday morning. We'll be
Okay.
back in Santo Domingo around noon.
Okay.
Yeah. So you probably, I mean, I don't know, unless there's a later flight, you probably don't want to fly home Monday. You probably want to fly home Tuesday.
That's when we're going home. So do we need to do an extra host night for that Monday night?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And let's see, Mark, it's actually because your host family is going to keep your rooms and everything for you during that weekend. It's
Right.
actually more than one night. It's like Saturday night, Sunday night, and then Monday. So it's 3 nights additional because they won't take on another student because your stuff is there. So it's a 3-night extra with your host family. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And then let's see, the Cebu Brit that's the Friday
Yeah. So
or the Sunday.
Brit is the Sunday before your week.
Okay.
And then Cebu is the Friday, the last day of your week, Mark.
Okay. So I signed up for one of them for Lucia and I, but I didn't see our names on either one of those. So if you could just check that out for me, because I can't remember now which one it was, whether it was, it seems like it was Cebu that I signed up for.
I'll take the that's my fault because I did this. So I need to check on that.
Okay. Okay. So we need, so I need to think about whichever one I didn't sign up for.
Yeah.
And then the extra nights.
Perfect. Yep.
Okay.
So Leslie, you're writing this down.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for tonight. Carly, nice to see you too.
Mark,
Okay.
I want to repeat our body surfing with your granddaughter and my kids in Manuel Antonio.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
I might even do the parasail this time.
Oh, all right, all
perfect.
Okay.
And Mark, did you get my email?
I
the
did.
chat?
I've
Okay,
got you all
all right.
written down, so I will.
All right.
I will be texting you or something here, Kathy.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Okay.
All righty.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Good night.
Buenas
Gracias a
noches.
todos.
Buenas noches. Any other questions hanging out?
Hasta pronto.
Hasta pronto.